Hey there, coin enthusiasts and accidental pocket change hoarders. Have you ever checked your loose change and thought, what if one of these pennies could pay off my mortgage? Well, you might want to dig through that jar of pennies because today we're talking about the legendary 1951 wheat penny with no mint mark that could be worth, get this, a whopping $1 million. That's right, one little penny could make you a millionaire. Crazy, right? Before you toss all your coins onto the table in a frenzy, let's break down why this coin is so valuable, how you can tell if you've got one, and what you can do if you strike gold, or rather, copper. Stick around till the end because I'll share a funny story about the time I thought I had a rare penny. Spoiler alert. I didn't. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1951 wheat penny is part of the iconic wheat cent series, minted between 1909 and 1958. You can spot these pennies by the two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent on the back. They're a classic. But what makes the 1951 version so special? And why is it worth $1 million? Well, it's all about rarity. The no mint mark version of this penny was accidentally struck under very specific conditions, likely due to an error at the Philadelphia Mint. It wasn't supposed to happen, and only a handful made it out into circulation. Think of it like the Willy Wonka golden ticket of pennies. Except instead of candy, you're getting cash. Now, let's talk about how to identify this unicorn of a coin. Check under the date, 1951. If there's no little letter, like AD or S, you might have a Philadelphia minted penny. Coins in pristine condition, or uncirculated, fetch the highest value. Even if your coin is a little worn, it could still be worth thousands. Rare coins are often scrutinized for authenticity, so a 1951 penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. Use a magnifying glass to check for details. You don't want to accidentally sell a valuable coin for $1 because you missed a key feature. Now, let me sprinkle in a little humor. If you're anything like me, you're probably thinking, I'm gonna find this coin and retire on a beach somewhere. Well, don't quit your day job just yet. The odds of finding one are slim, like winning the lottery slim. But hey, someone's gotta win, right? Let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the jackpot. I was rummaging through an old piggy bank from my childhood and found a shiny 1951 penny. My heart skipped a beat. I grabbed my magnifying glass and inspected it like Sherlock Holmes on a caffeine high. No mint mark. I was already picturing the mansion I'd buy. Then I weighed it. 3.06 grams. Turns out it was just a regular OL penny that had been through the washing machine one too many times. Yep, dreams crushed. Moral of the story. Double check before you start planning your millionaire lifestyle. Okay, back to the $1 million penny. Why is it worth so much? Well, rare coins are like fine wine. They get more valuable with time, especially when collectors are willing to pay top dollar. Recently, one of these 1951 no-mint mark pennies sold at auction for close to $1 million. The final price depends on the coin's condition, provenance, and a little bit of luck. If you think you've got a winner, take it to a professional coin grader or appraiser. Trust me, you don't want to sell your $1 million penny at a garage sale for a quarter. So, what's the takeaway here? Check your pockets, dig through your couch cushions, and raid that jar of pennies you've been ignoring for years. Who knows? You might just strike it rich. And if you don't find a 1951 wheat penny, don't sweat it. Coin collecting is all about the hunt, the history, and the thrill of discovery. Plus, you'll probably learn a thing or two about American history along the way. Before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could be worth a fortune. Don't miss out on your chance to cash in on hidden treasures. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, or thought you did, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. You're digging through your couch cushions looking for spare change, and boom, you find a penny worth $1.1 million. Sounds crazy, right? But guess what? It's not just a pipe dream. There's a 2017 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny out there that could make you a millionaire. Yes, a single cent. So, if you've ever laughed at someone for hoarding loose change, this one's for you. Grab your jar of coins, and let's dive into the treasure hunt of a lifetime. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. This penny comes from the Denver Mint, hence the D mark, and was part of the 2017 series celebrating 225 years of the U.S. Mint. Now, It might look like any other penny in circulation, but it's not what meets the eye. What makes it special? A unique error. You see, in the world of coins, errors are like rare diamonds. They turn something ordinary into something extraordinary. This particular penny has a double die obverse. Translation: the lettering on Abe Lincoln's face looks like it had a bit too much caffeine and got stamped twice. Coin collectors go wild for this kind of stuff. And this isn't just a minor error. It's big enough to catch your eye without a magnifying glass. So, next time you see Abe Lincoln winking at you from your spare change, you might just have struck gold, or copper, to be exact. Now, you're probably wondering, how does a penny become worth more than my car? Great question. The 2017 D. Lincoln penny with this error made headlines when it sold at auction for $1.1 million. Why? Because it's one of a kind. Well, not literally. There are a handful of these in existence, but the condition of this particular coin was absolutely pristine. Coin collectors call it mint state, which basically means it looks like it was just made yesterday. Combine that with a rare error, and you've got the coin equivalent of a Picasso painting. I mean, who knew spare change could be life-changing, right? Suddenly, that jar of pennies sitting on your kitchen counter is looking a lot more valuable. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I got into coin collecting purely by accident. I was at a yard sale, and someone was selling an old coin jar for $5. I thought, why not? Took it home, dumped it out, and started sorting. I didn't find anything worth millions, but I did stumble across a wheat penny from 1943. Turns out, it's worth about $50. Not exactly a jackpot, but hey, that's $50 I didn't have before. And honestly, the thrill of the hunt? Totally addicting. Now, I've got a whole system for checking my change. Every time I get a penny, I take a closer look. Who knows? Maybe the next one will be my ticket to early retirement. All right, let's get practical. If you want to find a 2017 D. Lincoln penny worth millions, here's what you need to do. Check the mint mark, look for the little D below the date. Inspect for errors, look for doubling on the letters or numbers. Keep it in good condition. If you find one, don't go tossing it around like regular change. Handle it carefully, preferably with gloves. Get it graded. Send it to a professional coin grading service to confirm its value. Remember, patience is key. You're not going to find $1 million penny overnight, but the search itself is half the fun. So, there you have it, the incredible story of a 2017 D. Lincoln penny worth $1.1 million. Who would have thought something so small could be so valuable? It just goes to show that sometimes, the most unexpected things can hold the greatest treasures. Now, here's my challenge to you. Go grab your jar of change, start digging, and let me know in the comments if you find anything cool. And hey, if you want more tips on coins worth serious money and strategies to turn your spare change into a gold mine, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Imagine this. You're rifling through your loose change to pay for your morning coffee, and bam, you spot a plain old Lincoln penny. Or is it? What if that little copper coin in your pocket could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million? You heard that right, million, with an M. Today, we're diving deep into the world of one of the most mysterious and valuable pennies ever, the 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and let's turn those pennies into paychecks. What's the big deal about the 1978 penny? All right, let's get to the good stuff. Why is this coin so valuable? The story begins with the U.S. Mint. Coins are typically stamped with a mint mark, a tiny letter indicating where they were made, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and nothing for Philadelphia. In 1978, something strange happened. A batch of pennies left the Philadelphia Mint without the telltale, no mint mark. Why? No one knows for sure. Maybe it was a minting error. Maybe someone just had a bad day at work and forgot. Whatever the reason, this fluke turned ordinary pennies into treasure. And because only a small number of these error coins exist, collectors are obsessed. When demand meets rarity, you get skyrocketing prices. Now, you're probably wondering, who in their right mind is paying 7 figures for a penny? Well, collectors are a passionate bunch, and when an item is as rare as this one, it becomes the holy grail of coin collecting. In 2023, one of these beauties sold at auction for a record-breaking $1.2 million. That's more than most houses cost. But don't start quitting your day job just yet. These pennies are rare, like needle in a haystack rare. That said, it's not impossible to stumble across one. How to spot a 1978 no mint mark penny first? Let's clear something up. Just because your penny doesn't have a mint mark doesn't mean it's worth millions. Most pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mark. It's normal. The key here is condition. Grading coins is like grading exams. Only the perfect ones get the top marks. The $1.2 million penny was in pristine condition, what collectors call MS-68, meaning it's practically flawless. How do you check your coins? Simple. Grab a magnifying glass and inspect every nook and cranny. Look at the date, 1978, and make sure it's shiny, sharp, and free of scratches. Bonus points if it still has that original copper luster. I once found an old penny in my dad's coin jar and thought, this could be it. It was a 1978 penny, no mint mark. I was this close to calling Sotheby's. Turns out, it was just a regular penny worth, exactly 1 cent. Lesson learned. Not every no mint mark penny is a jackpot. But hey, it was fun to dream. You don't need to be a millionaire to start hunting for rare coins. Check your change, rate old piggy banks, and don't forget to ask Grandma about that jar of pennies she's been saving for decades. And if you want to get serious, hit up coin shows, auctions, or even eBay. Just be cautious. There are fakes out there. When in doubt, consult a professional coin appraiser. So there you have it. The incredible story of the 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth a cool $1.2 million. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who loves a good treasure hunt, this just goes to show that you never know what you might find in your pocket. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into coin collecting and want more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you rich, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Who knows? Your next trip to the coffee shop might just pay for itself, and then some. Have you ever heard the saying, a penny saved is a penny earned? Well, today, that penny could be earned for $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1993 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is worth more than $1 million. Don't believe me? Stick around, because in the next 30 minutes, we're diving into the wild world of coin collecting, the quirky history behind this penny, and what makes it so insanely valuable. Plus, I'll share a story about how I almost threw away a coin worth hundreds of dollars. True story. Grab your coin jars, because by the end of this video, you might just find treasure hiding in plain sight. What exactly is the 1993 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny? First off, the no mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Unlike coins from Denver, which have a D, or San Francisco, marked with an S, Philadelphia coins are often unmarked, making this seem pretty ordinary at first glance. But here's where it gets juicy. This penny was a major error coin, and error coins are like the unicorns of the coin collecting world, rare and magical. Think of it like baking cookies. Most batches turn out fine, but every now and then, one cookie comes out looking like it had a fight with the oven. That oops cookie? In coin collecting, it's worth way more than the perfectly baked ones. Now, why does this little copper coin fetch $1.3 million? It's all about rarity and condition. Out of the billions of pennies minted in 1993, only a tiny fraction had this specific no mint mark error. Combine that with collectors' insatiable appetite for unique pieces, and you've got a recipe for $1 million coin. But it's not just rarity, it's also about grading. The highest graded examples of this coin are the ones commanding those jaw-dropping prices. Think of it as the difference between a used car and a showroom Ferrari. Both are cars, but one turns heads. Now, here's where it gets personal. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer and found a random penny. I almost tossed it into the coin jar of doom when I remembered something I'd read about rare pennies. Long story short, that penny turned out to be a 1955 double-die penny worth over $700. Lesson learned. Always check your change before throwing it in a jar. Can you imagine if I'd done the same with a 1993 no mint mark penny? My bank account would still be crying at SO. How do you find out if your pocket change holds the key to financial freedom? Start with these steps. Look closely at the year, 1993, and check for the missing mint mark. You'll need a magnifying glass or even a good smartphone camera. If it looks like it just came from the mint, congratulations. You might have struck gold. Well, copper, technically. This is crucial. Send your coin to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and assign a grade. Compare it to recent auction sales. Sites like Heritage Auctions or eBay are gold mines for coin prices. As of today, the highest graded 1993 no-mint mark penny sold for $1.3 million at auction. That's enough to buy a house, a fancy car, and still have plenty left over for pizza night. The market for rare coins is only growing, so who knows? Yours might be worth even more in the future. So, there you have it, the incredible story of the 1993 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. From its humble beginnings as a simple error coin to its rise as a million-dollar superstar, this penny is proof that even the smallest things can hold massive value. Before you go, don't forget to raid your couch cushions, check your junk drawer, and please don't toss your change without a second glance. If you've enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding treasure in your pocket, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I'll be here every week sharing strategies for turning your spare change into big bucks. You're digging through your couch cushions for spare change, maybe to buy a coffee or hit up a vending machine, and suddenly you come across a penny. It's a regular Lincoln penny, or so you think. But what if I told you that penny could be worth a staggering $1.4 million? That's right, million. Today, we're diving into the story of the 1971 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's shaking up the coin collecting world. So, grab your coin jar, and let's see if you've been sitting on a fortune this whole time. First things first, let's break it down. What is this 1971 no-mint mark penny? Well, back in 1971, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced millions of Lincoln pennies. But here's the kicker. Unlike coins from Denver or San Francisco, these Philly-made pennies didn't carry a mint mark. That alone isn't unusual, but what makes this particular penny special is a combination of rare errors and high-quality preservation. We'll get into that in a second. Now, you're probably wondering, why $1.4 million? Did it win the coin lottery? Kind of. This specific penny gained its value because of a perfect storm, a rare die error, a nearly flawless condition, and a whole lot of demand from collectors with deep pockets. Imagine selling something you've had lying around for decades for more than the price of a beach house. Crazy, right? Let me tell you a little story. A couple of years ago, I was helping my aunt clean out her attic. She handed me this old, dusty jar filled with pennies and said, "Take these to the bank. They're just clutter." Being the curious type, I decided to sort through them first. Turns out, I found a penny from 1971. Now, before you get excited, mine wasn't the one. But that moment sparked my interest in coins. I mean, what if I tossed away something worth millions? Lesson learned. Always check your change, people. Now, what makes this 1971 penny so valuable? Rarity. This particular coin has a die error, which means the tool that stamps the coin didn't perform as it should. Combine that with the fact that it's in near-perfect condition, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar. Oh, and here's the kicker. It was recently auctioned for $1.4 million. That's like turning a penny into a palace. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these bad boys? No mint mark under the year 1971. A high-quality shine, almost like it's never been used. Any unusual markings or errors on the coin's surface, if you think you've struck gold, or copper, in this case, get it appraised. A professional coin grader can determine its value. And hey, even if it's not the penny, some 1971 pennies in excellent condition still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. That's not a bad consolation prize. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, now it's your turn. Go dig through your couch cushions, check your piggy banks, or maybe even raid grandma's old penny jar. Who knows? You might just be sitting on $1 million coin and not even know it. And if you're as obsessed with coins and collectibles as I am, or if you just like the idea of turning pocket change into life-changing money, hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing more tips, stories, and strategies to help you spot coins worth big bucks. Plus, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. All right, folks, I've got a question for you. Have you ever reached into your pocket for some spare change, only to pull out a penny and think, meh, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one of those just a pennies could actually be worth $1.5 million? Yeah, I know. It sounds like one of those late-night infomercials. But stick with me because today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 2020 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This little copper wonder is shaking up the coin collecting world, and guess what? You might already have one without even knowing it. Background on the 2020 D penny. Let's kick things off with a bit of history. The 2020 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. Now, pennies have been a staple of U.S. currency since good ol' Honest Abe first graced them in 1909. But this particular penny is special. Why? It's all about rarity and a minting error that made a handful of these coins ultra desirable. During production, a small batch of these pennies was struck with a unique doubling error on the date and the phrase, "In God We Trust." Coin experts call this a double die obverse, but I like to call it the whoops-a-doodle jackpot. These errors make the coin one of a kind, and collectors will pay big bucks for anything unique. What makes this penny worth $1.50 million? So, why the insane price tag? It's a mix of scarcity, condition, and demand. Think of it like Pokemon cards. Sure, most are common, but that holographic Charizard? Priceless. The $1.5 million 2020 D penny that everyone's buzzing about was graded as MS69 by the professional coin grading service. Translation: it's in near-perfect condition. Combine that with the rarity of the error, and you've got a coin collector's dream. And when collectors get excited, their wallets open faster than my fridge during a midnight snack raid. How to spot one in your pocket change now for the million-dollar question. How do you know if you've struck gold, or copper in this case? First, grab a magnifying glass or, if you're like me and can't find one, just squint really hard. Check the 2020 on the coin. If the numbers look doubled or blurry, you might be holding a winner. Also, examine the phrase "In God We Trust" for the same doubling effect. Don't clean the coin. Cleaning it can lower its value faster than a bad haircut ruins prom photos. Let me share a quick personal story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma sort through an old jar of coins. You know the kind, dusty, full of pennies, and probably older than I am. Well, I found a 1955 double-die penny, which, at the time, was worth a few $1,000s. I sold it, bought a used car, and let me tell you, that car broke down within 6 months. Moral of the story: double-check your pennies, but maybe don't rush into buying a clunker. Why coins like this are a big deal? It's not just about the money. Though, let's be real, $1.5 million is life-changing. These coins are tiny pieces of history. Each one has a story, from the design to the minting process to how it ended up in circulation. Collecting coins is like being a treasure hunter, minus the pirates and maps. So, here's the deal. Check your pocket change, your couch cushions, and even that random jar of coins you've been meaning to cash in at the grocery store. Who knows? You might just be sitting on a $1.5 million jackpot. If you found today's video helpful, hit that like button and share it with your fellow treasure hunters. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tips on spotting valuable coins and other fun strategies to turn everyday items into cash. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. You're rummaging through your couch cushions, hoping to find enough spare change for a coffee, and instead, bam, you pull out a penny worth $1.6 million. Yes, you heard me right. A single, humble penny could be worth more than a luxury car or even a small house. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Well, stick around, because today we're talking about the 1998 D. Lincoln penny, the tiny coin that's been making huge waves in the collector world. I promise, by the end of this video, you'll be checking every penny in your pocket with a magnifying glass. And don't worry, I'll keep it fun, simple, and sprinkle in a few laughs along the way. Alright, so what makes this 1998 D. Lincoln penny so valuable? First, let's break it down. This penny was minted in Denver. That's what the D stands for. And on the surface, it looks like any other penny. Honest Abe's sitting there on the front, looking all stoic, and the Lincoln Memorial is on the back. But here's where it gets interesting. Some of these pennies were minted with a highly rare double-die error, which means part of the design was stamped twice, creating a slight but noticeable doubling in certain areas, like "In God We Trust" or liberty. This isn't the kind of thing you notice at first glance, but collectors? Oh, they go nuts for it. It's like finding the golden ticket in a Willy Wonka bar, but instead of chocolate, you've got copper. Now let's talk money. In 2023, one of these little beauties sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Why so much? It's all about rarity and condition. The fewer errors that were made, the more valuable the coin becomes. And if it's in pristine condition, like it's been sitting in a time capsule for the past 25 years? Jackpot. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was helping my dad clean out the garage. He's got this old jar of pennies he's been collecting since, I don't know, the Reagan administration. So, there I was, bored out of my mind, sifting through them. I spotted a shiny one and thought, hey, this might be worth something. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But that little spark of hope had me Googling coin values for hours. That's when I realized how much hidden treasure might be sitting in plain sight. Okay, back to you. If you're thinking, how do I know if I've got the magic penny? Here's what to do. Grab a magnifying glass or your phone's zoom feature and check out the lettering on the coin. If you see doubling, you could be in business. And if your penny looks flawless, no scratches or wear. Even better, coins like this remind us that value isn't always about what meets the eye. It's a lesson in looking closer, appreciating the small things, and hey, maybe even making a cool million in the process. So there you have it. The incredible story of the 1998 D. Lincoln penny, a tiny coin with a massive price tag. Who knew something so small could have such a big impact? Now, before you start emptying every coin jar in your house, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could be worth a fortune. And if you've ever found a weird or valuable coin, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. Have you ever checked your spare change and thought, could one of these be worth a fortune? Well, today, we're diving into a story that'll have you emptying your piggy banks and raiding your couch cushions. A simple, unassuming penny from 1989, no mint mark, and somehow it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yep, you heard that right, million. In this video, we'll uncover what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and why it might just be hiding in your pocket right now. Oh, and stick around because I'll share a funny and mildly embarrassing story about how I almost threw away a coin worth hundreds. Spoiler alert. It involves a vending machine and a very judgmental snack. So, grab your coins, settle in, and let's get into the fascinating world of the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny. First things first, what even is a no mint mark penny? Usually, pennies have a tiny letter indicating where they were minted, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and so on. But every now and then, a mistake slips through the cracks, and we get a coin with no mint mark at all. The 1989 no mint mark penny is special because of its sheer rarity. While millions of pennies were minted that year, only a handful made it out without that tiny letter. Think of it like a typo on a famous book. Super rare, super valuable. Now, why is this one worth $1.7 million? Well, it's not just any 1989 penny. To fetch that kind of cash, it needs to be in pristine condition, also known as mint state. Basically, it has to look like it was minted yesterday. No scratches, no wear, no nothing. Okay, here's where it gets interesting. If you want to know if your penny is the golden or copper ticket, here's what to look for. 1989. Flip it over and double check. Look below the date on the front. If there's no tiny letter, you might have something special. If it's scratched, tarnished, or looks like it's been through a washing machine, it's probably not worth much. Sorry, pro tip, use a magnifying glass or a loupe to examine your coins. I once mistook a crumb for a mint mark. Yeah, don't be like me. The value of rare coins often comes down to three things: rarity, condition, and demand. With the 1989 no mint mark penny, it ticks all the boxes. Collectors go nuts for these because they're like the unicorns of the coin world. And let's face it, there's a certain thrill in knowing that something so small and ordinary could be worth more than a brand new Ferrari. It's the ultimate underdog story. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost lost a valuable coin. A few years ago, I was rummaging through my change to grab a snack from a vending machine. I had this shiny penny that looked different, but I was starving and didn't care. I popped it in the machine, hit the button for chips, and that was that. Later, I found out that penny was a rare coin worth a couple $100. Yep, I traded a fortune for a bag of chips. And you know what? The chips were stale. Moral of the story: always check your coins before you spend them. All right, folks, there you have it. The incredible tale of the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Could you imagine turning a single penny into $1.7 million? It's like winning the lottery, but way cooler. Go through your loose change tonight. Check your wallets, jars, and junk drawers. Who knows? You might just strike it rich. And before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, stories, and strategies on coins that could make you money. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and accidental millionaires. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, hold on to your hats, because today I'm about to drop a truth bomb. That little copper coin could be worth $1 million. Yep, you heard me right. We're talking about the 2009 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Now, before you rush off to check every penny you have in your jar or drawer, trust me, I've been there. Let's dig into what makes this penny so special and how it could turn you from just another coin collector to a millionaire. Let's go. All right, so the year is 2009. The world is buzzing with a new president. Social media is starting to get really crazy. And there's this shiny new penny floating around with a twist. The 2009 Lincoln penny wasn't just your average everyday coin. It was part of a series that celebrated the life and legacy of, you guessed it, Abraham Lincoln. The penny, typically made at either the Philadelphia or Denver mints, usually sports a mint mark that lets collectors know where it was made. But here's where the plot thickens. In 2009, for a very special reason, some pennies were struck without a mint mark. Now, imagine you're looking at a coin, and there's no D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. You're probably wondering, why the heck does this matter? Isn't it just a mistake? Well, it is and it isn't. Those mistakes, in the world of coins, are gold mines. See, when a coin is minted and it's a bit off, or missing something like a mint mark, it makes it rare. And rare things, especially in the world of coin collecting, are what collectors want most. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, right, that coin is worth $1 million, and I have one of those pennies stuck in my couch cushions. While it sounds too good to be true, the reality is that a 2009 no-mint mark penny has sold for a whopping $1 million in recent years. But here's the kicker. It's not just any random 2009 penny. The coin must be in excellent condition, which means no scratches, dents, or signs of wear. Think of it like a rare Pokemon card. It's the condition that makes it valuable, not just the rarity. Now, if you're like me, you've probably found a 2009 penny, looked at it, and said, nah, no way it's worth anything. And I get it. I mean, who really expects their change to make them rich, right? But here's a story I want to share with you about a personal experience a couple of years ago. I was going through an old jar of pennies, you know the one, where you throw all those stray coins that you don't want to deal with. I was sifting through the pile when I found a 2009 penny. I didn't think much of it, just another penny, right? But I decided to check it out anyway, just in case. I Googled it and boom. Turns out, some 2009 pennies without a mint mark were selling for thousands. I freaked out. I started looking around the house for more coins. I was sure I was about to become the next coin mogul. Spoiler alert. I didn't find any million-dollar pennies, but I did get a good laugh and learned a valuable lesson. The 2009 Abraham Lincoln penny without a mint mark could be worth up to $1 million if it's in pristine condition. But before you go running to the bank or tearing apart your house, remember that not every 2009 penny is going to fetch that kind of price. It's all about the rarity, the condition, and the right buyer. So, don't just let those pennies sit around. Take a good look at them. But hey, if you don't find a million-dollar coin, don't sweat it. There are plenty of other valuable coins out there, and that's why I'm here to help you spot them. If you enjoyed learning about this rare penny and maybe had a laugh at my expense, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more coin tips, tricks, and strategies to find coins worth money. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next treasure I'm about to uncover. Until then, Keep hunting, keep checking your change, and who knows?